Central, and the other is Gimnasia y Esgrima de La Plata. Those two teams confirmed their return last week, and this means that two very important derbies will be played once again in the next season, one being Estudiantes de La Plata, Gimnasia y Esgrima, which is the derby of the city of La Plata, and the other, which I'm told is one of the most exciting derbies in the country, perhaps even so more than the Super Clásico between River and Boca, and it's the match between Rosario and Newell's. You might be saying, isn't he exaggerating? Bigger than the Super Clásico? Well, the Super Clásico is a lot of fuzz, but you've got people coming from all over the world to watch this game. But the fact is that Rosario is the whole city that comes to a halt when there is this game. Rosario might be the most football crazy city in the country, and people are very, very passionate about either of these teams. Of course, you don't feel that outside Rosario, but if you are there during one of their derby days, it's really, really amazing. People, the way people live and experience football in that Argentine city. The Argentine city, which is the hometown and the birthplace of stars like Ángel Di María and no other than Lionel Messi. Well, that's one piece of news. Another team that is returning is Olimpo de Bahía Blanca without playing because on the way to playing a game, one of their rivals wasn't able to win, and due to maths, they were able to return to the Premier League. Now, the bad news is for Independiente, one of the 5 big clubs of Argentina, together with San Lorenzo, Racing, Boca and River, because they are on the brink of being relegated. We've been saying this for months, but now they are really there. I mean, they're just one step away from being relegated for the first time in history. Until now, it's only Boca and them, the ones that never left the Premier League, the A series of Argentine football, but due to a number of scores this past 16th date, namely their draw versus Estudiantes and victories by Quilmes, San Martín de San Juan and Argentinos Juniors that defeated River Plate yesterday. Well, Independiente is now the first in the list to be relegated. Those other 3 teams are their competitors in the race for avoiding relegation, and they all won except for Independiente that drew. Now Independiente has got some tough games ahead. For example, next week they are visiting River at the Monumental Stadium, and they still have to play versus San Lorenzo, which is another big club, not trying to avoid relegation but trying to accumulate as many points as possible to prevent falling in a risk zone in the future. So, we might be seeing something historical in the coming weeks regarding Independiente, something completely unexpected, say 10 years ago, but after River Plate was relegated 2 years ago and returned a year ago, well, anything is possible. And well, 2 games were disputed today that completed the 16th date. One was between San Martín de San Juan and Tigre. San Martín is another team that is trying to avoid relegation, as we were saying. They defeated Tigre 3-1. And the other was, perhaps in terms of the championship, the most important game between Newell's, the leaders, and Albois, which is a small team from Buenos Aires that is not fighting for anything. And Newell's lost 1-0 at Albois Stadium here in Buenos Aires tonight, 1-0. And this way they remain the leaders, but they weren't able to stretch the distance to 6 points. They remain 3 points away from River and Lanús, their followers. And the definition of the final tournament is being prolonged. We might have to wait for the final 19th date to know who is the champion. That's enough for football today. Let's mention something about tennis. Well, you know that Djokovic and Nadal have moved to the quarterfinals in Roland Garros, and there are no more Argentines participating in this, the second Grand Slam of